America, 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 America.
Hey everyone, this is Bibin Michael here, and
Nikhil Mani.
so like we mentioned before, so we are starting a new podcast here. Both are based in New Jersey, US. So like we mentioned earlier, that our podcast name is. Oh, remember we were having a big conversation how what to name the podcast. So finally, we put our name is for M
M
Talks.
Talks.
M Talks. What does M stands for? M stands for could be anything. We're gonna leave it for you guys. Maybe money talks, maybe
Michael Talks.
Mani talks, maybe Malu talks. So Malu talks will be the great, right? And money and Malu. Okay,
Exactly.
great. Okay, cool. So it's actually the first day and first episode. Very excited that we've been planning for this for a long time. And what's our topics? What it's all about? M talks. What's all about, Nigel?
I believe we are both entrepreneurs,
Right.
and we felt like there was a need for us to talk about just different things that we as entrepreneurs face, mindset, just difficulties maybe culturally in.
What do you mean by culturally? What's going on with that?
So we all come from a Malayalee background, and
Exactly.
usually people are career focused, and
Correct.
even
It's everywhere,
it's
worldwide.
worldwide, especially within our community,
Correct.
less than 1% of people are entrepreneurs,
Correct.
like true entrepreneurs,
Correct.
and there's almost like a negative connotation to doing something as business focused. Small.
Very, very minute way, but yeah, there is, it's been always there. ചില സമയത്ത് basically ഞാനിങ്ങനെ my background was from healthcare.
Right.
So when I changed my career or my business portfolio I was getting into, so people will ask me like ഇത്രയും നല്ലൊരു ജോലിയും ഇത്രയും നല്ല ഇൻകം പൊട്ടൻഷ്യൽ ഉള്ള നീ എന്തിനാണ് അത് കളഞ്ഞിട്ട് പോയെ എന്നൊരു തോട്ട് പ്രോസസ് വരാം. അപ്പൊ അത് ബേസിക്കലി എക്സാക്ട്ലി യു ആർ റൈറ്റ്. ആ ഒരു മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റ് ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി ഉണ്ട്.
Yeah, and I think that mindset is what we are trying to hopefully give a different perspective to.
Exactly.
And that obviously selfishly helps us in our business, but it also motivates us to always think actively, think differently, think and be uncomfortable. Try to stay comfortable in the uncomfortable areas. And I think that's what our intention is with this podcast: education.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about something useful, information, tips, and we're gonna talk about mindset.
Yes.
That's what it's all about,
For us especially.
right?
Yeah.
And entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And what else? Maybe world building concepts.
Wealth building concepts, maybe like basic financial concepts that the regular person that's migrating to this country should know. How to start building that legacy in this country that is not, it's kind of foreign to you still, right? When you first start off.
Exactly. So when we talking about that, like when somebody coming to a new country and building their life there, so they go through a lot of struggles in the beginning.
Yeah.
So even though money is a big portion of it, but still adjusting with the weather, adjusting with the new circumstance they came in, so a lot of things they need to adjust.
Right.
So what is the one best thing, or what is the priority at that point for them will be get settled, get a safe job,
Right.
get a regular income will be the main thing everybody will focus.
Right.
Do you think at that point entrepreneurship will come in?
I mean, definitely not.
Definitely.
Oh, it depends. It depends, right? It depends on how daring you are.
No, the way
I mean,
we were
if
raised, right?
the way we were raised, yes.
The way we were raised was we went to school, we went to college, we look for a
We
career
were
oriented.
programmed to be workers.
Right, and we got into a new country.
Right.
Do you think entrepreneurship have a big role at the initial stage?
No, you're
Absolutely
right.
not.
Not for the general person. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So our time, you've been talking about wealth or money, right?
Right.
So to build the wealth, what is a minimum standard? It's a simple idea. Minimum standard, we have to go through a process, right?
Yeah.
And there's a formula runs for that. You have to put some money to grow. So if you just pour water, I don't think anything will grow up.
Right.
So you need to put some seed. So definitely need money. And on the top of that, we need to grow our money properly.
Right.
And we need to give enough time.
Right.
So our time എന്ന ഒരു concept ആണ് basically we generally miss if we don't get the information on time.
That's right.
അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഇനിഷ്യൽ സ്ട്രഗിൾസ് നമ്മൾ ലൈഫ് സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സ്ട്രഗിള് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒന്ന് സെറ്റിൽ ആകുക അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു സെക്യൂർ ആകുക ഒരു സെക്യൂർ ജോബ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പേറോൾ വരിക എന്നൊക്കെ ഉള്ള നമ്മുടെ ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ് നീഡ്സ് ആയ പിള്ളേരുടെ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ പിന്നെ ഒരു വീട് വാങ്ങുക അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സെറ്റിൽ ആകുക ഒക്കെയാണ് നമ്മളുടെ ഒരു പ്രയോറിറ്റിയിൽ ആദ്യം വരുന്നത് അതൊക്കെയാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഓൾറെഡി മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റ് വെൽത്ത് ബിൽഡിംഗ് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ്സ് നമ്മുടെ മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റിലേ വരുന്നത് ഐ മീൻ ദാറ്റ്സ് ഹൗ വി റേസ് ദാറ്റ്സ് ഹൗ വി ബി പ്രോഗ്രാംഡ് റൈറ്റ് അപ്പൊ അവിടെ എന്താണ് അറിഞ്ഞോ അറിയാതെ നമ്മൾ മിസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ ഒരു ടൈമാണ് നമ്മൾ ലൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ബേസിക്കലി ടൈമാണ് അപ്പൊ ആ ടൈം ആ ലൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആ ടൈം റെഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിന് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും എന്നതാണ് ബേസിക്കലി വൺ ഓഫ് ദ മെയിൻ അഡ്വാൻറ്റേജ് വാട്ട് വി ഡിസ്കസ് അതിന് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും എന്നതാണ് ബേസിക്കലി നമ്മുടെ ഒരു മെയിൻ കൺസെപ്റ്റ് പിന്നെ ഓഫ് കോഴ്സ് വി ടോക്ക് അബൌട്ട് മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റ് ആണ് എവറിത്തിങ് especially entrepreneurship mindset is the key
100%. I mean, you almost have to find every reason to stay motivated because it's so easy to lose track and it's so easy to just be discouraged, right? Because you're not going to make you're going to be struggling. You're going to struggle for maybe months, years, depends on how lucky you are. But the idea is to be persistent. The idea is to stay focused, not worry about what's happening around you that distracts you from maybe our jolly undana they have they're able to like like safety mechanism
right.
like to try to kind of like I mean that should be there. There should be a balance of that will be there for us in the future. Our concept of
Exactly.
I think you have to move forward and try to do that.
ഞാനിങ്ങനെ മുമ്പ് പ്രാവശ്യം ആരോ പറഞ്ഞിങ്ങനെ കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട് നമ്മൾ ഓണ്ടർപ്രണർഷിപ്പ് എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞാൽ ബേസിക്കലി ഒരു വളരെ സ്കിന്നി ആയിട്ടുള്ളതോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വളരെ ഫാറ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരാള് ബോഡി ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി ജിമ്മിൽ പോകുന്നതുമായിട്ട് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യാം. So it's not going to happen in a day
overnight.
It's not going to happen. I mean that's a fact.
But
people, we are running towards the employment side. And our body or our mind is used to get the paychecks every 2 weeks, especially here. So they're not ready to give up that and into spend time or put their effort to build something for the future. So that is
and give themselves freedom of time.
Exactly.
After that gets built. That's the goal, right? The goal is the reason why you and I are chasing this dream is so that I think already we enjoy the freedom of time. We're not constrained by going 9 to 5 and we can plan our days according to what our family's needs are.
Exactly.
And like what kind of quality of life are we actually affording our family, right? It does obviously this making a ton of money doesn't mean anything if you're not using that money to enjoy your family and your life.
Exactly. So ഇതിനകത്ത് ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ആക്ച്വലി ഇങ്ങനെ ഈ ഒരു ടോപ്പിക്കോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഡിസ്കഷൻ നമ്മുടെ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് സർക്കിളിലൊക്കെ വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് അവരെല്ലാവരും പറയുന്ന ഒരു മെയിൻ ഒരു കൺസെപ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മണി ഈസ് നോട്ട് എവറിത്തിങ്. I mean 100% that's true. But money has a major role in our entire life.
100%.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if you have enough money or if you have the financial freedom, so അനവധി പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഹെഡേക്കുകളും നമുക്ക് റെഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട് എന്നുള്ളത് റിയാലിറ്റിയാണ്.
Right.
We may not need like a lot of money, but if we have like enough financial freedom, that is great.
Yeah. And of course, flexibility.
Absolutely. പക്ഷേ ഇത് ഒരു എംപ്ലോയ്മെന്റ് ലൈഫിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന ഒരാള് ഇത് മുൻകൂട്ടി കണ്ടുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ അതിനകത്തേക്ക് ഒരു ട്രാൻസിഷൻ വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് you think it's going to happen right away?
No.
Of course not.
No.
So anything they have to pay a price.
Right.
So ഒരു entrepreneurshipൽ അതാണ് മെയിൻ ആയിട്ട് I felt like we need to give up something.
Right.
Right. അതായത് നമ്മൾ മറ്റേ കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം നമ്മൾ സംസാരിച്ചു പോകുന്നത് ഒരു ഇൻസാനിറ്റിയുടെ ഒരു definition.
Right. Yeah.
So നമ്മള്
doing the same thing, expecting a different
over
result.
and over and expecting a new result, definitely not going to happen. Right? But you have to do something else.
Right.
So look at the pack. If the pack is going or everybody going in the one direction, you have to think something else.
Right.
അപ്പൊ അവിടെ തിങ്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ബേസിക്കലി ഡിസ്കറേജ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് ആൾക്കാർ ഇഷ്ടംപോലെ വേണം. കാരണം they all are one mindset with employment.
And also they're not, it's very hard for people to stay uncomfortable.
Exactly.
I think the idea is to be always in the safe zone, the comfort zone. And I think what you and I have realized is that comfort zone, safe zone is our, like shackles, like in jail, like it's that, especially at a younger age, right? I mean, when it's older, I get it, when you have more responsibilities. But when your kids are young and you're in your 30s or your 40s, you have good 10-15 years that you can kind of put towards building something. And I mean, obviously, we're not talking about everybody to leave their jobs and do something full time. Thankfully, we have an opportunity that works.
We got that opportunity. What like perfect without disturbing the current schedule.
Right.
When I got that opportunity, like oh, by the way, we didn't properly
introduce ourselves,
right? It's a first episode. Mistake happens. So
no, it's just a natural flow of conversation.
That's what I'm looking forward. So
Yeah.
that's why I didn't really plan, write down anything. That's great, right? So I will give my idea, like how I came from, or what
No,
I
first of all, let's go back. Let's introduce. Okay, let's
that's what I
introduce
meant.
yourself.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I meant. Like how I came here, all those things.
Right.
So my background was a nurse. I was a nurse for about 17 years. So I work like in നാട്ടില് ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്ത് ഒരു 3 വർഷം വർക്ക് ചെയ്തായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ ദുബായിൽ ഒരു 4 വർഷം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഇവിടെ വന്നു, US വന്നു, സെറ്റിലായി. വൈഫ് നേഴ്സാണ്. കല്യാണം കഴിഞ്ഞാണ് ഞാൻ ബേസിക്കലി US വരുന്നത്. താങ്ക് ഗാഡ് നമ്മൾ ഈ എന്റർപ്രണർഷിപ്പ് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ അല്പം മുമ്പ് സംസാരിച്ച ഒരു സ്റ്റേജിലായിരുന്നു ഞാനും വന്നപ്പോഴത്തെ. സോ ഹൗ ടു ഗെറ്റ് എ ജോബ്. അപ്പൊ നഴ്സിംഗ് പാസ്സാവോ. ഞാൻ ആ വന്ന സമയത്ത് ബേസിക്കലി നഴ്സസ്, ഐ മീൻ lot of female nurses of course, but the male nurses ഞാൻ ലുക്ക് അറൗണ്ട് ചെയ്തപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ബേസിക്കലി ഒരാളെ കണ്ടുള്ളൂ നേഴ്സായിട്ട് ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നത്. Maybe I don't know that many people, but in my surroundings, I saw only one person. So I lost the hope. I don't think I will pass the exam here. Yeah. That's how difficult that I thought. So still, I had, we all always have some
aspiration.
So you'll be able to do it.
Right.
Yeah, keep going. You'll be able. So those kicked in. So I was able to get the license, right after a couple months later.
Pass the exam.
Pass the exam. Then I started working as a nurse. I was in the management level, so I was working as a manager for dialysis facilities. And in between, I got an opportunity to think. That's the right word. I got an opportunity to think, and I got that idea early, wasting a lot of years, like a lot of people. So I saw that if you rely on paycheck, it can easily harm you down the line, or you will remain playful.
Right.
Like there's no growth will be there.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's purely depends on the definition of growth. It's purely connected with the individual.
Yes.
So my definition of growth was financial freedom,
right,
or financially stable. So I didn't see that if I continue as a nurse forever.
Yeah.
And when you look at into future, how early an employee can retire in this country, definitely 65.
Yeah, especially if you're working a private job.
Absolutely. So majority people does that. I mean, there are people work with the government jobs,
Mhm.
federal or state or city. So they might be able to retire maybe on a 60 or maybe
Sometimes.
sometime. This is gonna be another full day topic, by the way.
Yeah, another
We'll touch point
touch
later.
base, but yeah.
But yeah, definitely. So when
But
I
you're sacrificing your time for money here.
correct.
Yeah.
So when I looked at down the line like that, I don't think it's really you not utilizing your prime time. That was
Right.
my idea. So I started exploring a huge industry, it's financial industry, and there was possibilities. And so I went through. That doesn't mean like I got a financial freedom right away. No,
Right.
of course not. So now I'm in the cranking space. So this is the time I'm cranking, using my prime time. So I got an opportunity, and thank God, a beautiful family, wife and 3 kids. So very supportive. So the family support also an important element
It enhances you.
enhance
Like,
you to the transition,
yeah. Right.
right?
Yeah.
So if your family telling you, why don't you have a great job? Why you wanna quit the job?
Why you want to put this pressure on us as a family?
Right.
Yeah.
So then no
It's
growth,
harder.
no
Yeah.
growth,
Yeah.
right? So like that, and I was able to try it out. And after some time, about a year and a half later, I was able to let go my nursing career and went full time on entrepreneurship, which is going great. I'm completing 3 years in this journey, so which is going great. And like I mentioned, my wife still works as a nurse in a hospital, and 2 boys and a girl. So life is going smooth, but we're in the cranking space.
Yeah.
So, but we have an idea. Like you see the not financial freedom yet, but the time freedom.
Yeah.
You definitely get it.
Yeah.
So looking forward, it's a phenomenal growth down the line,
Right.
right? So that's what we're looking forward. Go ahead, Nigel. How about you? Like how you came into this, or what's your journey so far?
So I came to the US to study in 2006. I did accounting and finance and graduated college. When I was graduating college, luckily or unluckily, hindsight being 2020, for me right now, I think it's luck. But at that time, it looked unlucky because the markets were really bad in America. 2008, we were just coming off of the 2008 disaster, and so there were no jobs, especially jobs for international students. And I came to Jersey after graduating college in Iowa, and I stayed with my uncle, and just looking for jobs, this and that. And I started working like these part-time illegal jobs, cash-paying jobs, basically.
What do you mean by illegal job? Put it out. Let's people see what is that.
What?
Now, what is illegal job?
No, illegal in the sense, as a student, you're not allowed, you're not supposed to work.
Oh, so you get the cash,
You get cash.
not like
Yeah,
a
you're not
salary.
exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. So I started working for stores and restaurants, and thankfully that journey got me into a mind of entrepreneurship because I started to run these especially the store. I was running the store, right, and so I was had this huge affinity, affinity to having this job that I was basically in charge of everything, and I had availability of time when I needed it, and I wasn't making any money, but at least there was this I didn't feel like I was എന്താ പറയുന്ന ഞാനൊരു സ്ഥലത്തുള്ള stuck I didn't have to do I was doing what I wanted to do it grew into something that I ended up wanting to do.
Correct.
Dealing with people, making money, selling products, just the whole aspect of business was very enticing to me. And then I got married in 2000, and by the way, while I was doing this, I was still not 100% thinking that this is where I was going to be. I just got I got a taste of what business is, But obviously that didn't seem realistic because I'm on a student visa.
Student
We
visa.
spend all this money. So while I was doing that, I was staying legal in this country I went and did my masters, right? And I was doing a master's. I did an MBA in IT because that's I was supposed to go and become a business analyst or something, like a functional IT employee. But meanwhile, I met my wife. We got married. And I got married and I got my green card. Now I can look for jobs. And I was looking for jobs. And one day, one of my uncles calls me. It's like, just randomly he calls. He's like, Nikhil, how's everything? I was like, good. Like, and I was just telling him, like, yeah, just applying for jobs and stuff. I was like, why are you applying for jobs? Which is very unique, right? And this is the uncle.
From an uncle.
From the uncle, yeah. And this is the uncle who, like, I used to live with. He's basically like the guardian angel in my life who kind of like gave me shelter and food and all that. But and he never told me like, Nick, you need to do this, do that, do this. He never gave me any inputs when he was seeing me like struggle through and working, and I was working 7 days a week. I was going to college on Saturdays, so like all that he's seen, and he would encourage me to just like apply for jobs, whatever, do whatever. But he never like told me like, this is what you should do. And then he like once I got my green card and stuff, he's like, and he calls me randomly and he's like, why are you looking for a job? Why don't you try real estate? And I was just like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good like idea. Like for me, I thought like, oh, real estate's like something that I've always wanted to be in. My father was a civil engineer, so like I grew up in his construction projects. So I thought, oh, real estate, like maybe being a real estate agent might be like the entry point to becoming like this big real estate like mogul, right?
So uncle and real estate in the വലിയൊരു door
open. And after that conversation, literally within 4 months, I had my license and I started working as a real estate agent. And I started off. I think my first year I made like $18,000. It's like not much at all, but there was so much satisfaction.
So shout out to a lot of realtors this country from Malayalis. So that is actually one of the biggest on the entrepreneurial side.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people from Malayalis does this. A lot of successful people, and I personally know a lot of successful realtors around us, brokers. So shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Thanks for kind of starting in this business where we knew that this is you can do this. But anyway, got into real estate, and every year on year I've been getting more money, and I was, in spite of the money. What my point is, I recognized like how much I was enjoying my life. I had freedom.
That's the most important piece.
I have freedom to help my family, my friends, whoever needed me. I could be the person who can, for the smallest things, going to airports or picking up people, or going to a hospital to like look on somebody who might have, like just small things. Being
without disturbing or without taking permission from the employer.
Yeah. And then like, there's a satisfaction. And this is also another important thing for me. There's a satisfaction that people get when buying houses. Most of my buyers are first-time home buyers. So when you buy a house, I think most people think that they've started their wealth building journey, right?
Not really, but yeah.
Right, but here's almost everybody like in their minds they have thought like, oh my God, I've come to this, I've graduated. Like life graduation.
I'm climbing.
I'm climbing the ladder, right? And so and there's a satisfaction you can see that literally there's a lot of joy that people have when they close on the house, they move into the house, you go see them. That was a real
it's a really
satisfying.
So one thing I would like to point out, Nikhil, you just mentioned, right? So for the small things, without taking permission, I was able to plan my day, all those things, right? So a lot of majority of our our audience or people who watching this will be employees.
Right.
So the reason because 90% people in this country employees, right? Yeah. So ഇത് ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു കാര്യമാണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞതെങ്കിൽ പോലും നമ്മള് ജോലിയിൽ ആക്ച്വലി നമ്മൾ ഹൗ വി സെറ്റ് അപ്പ് അവർ മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റ് ഈസ് ഒരു 3 days അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 4 days വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന നേഴ്സ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മൺഡേ ത്രൂ ഫ്രൈഡേ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു റെഗുലർ ഓഫീസർ ടൈപ്പ് ജോലിക്കാരൻ, ഇവർക്ക് ഈ ദിവസങ്ങളിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും ആവശ്യം വന്നാൽ their mind is already set. They need to get a off.
Yeah.
They need to take a permission. They need to switch around.
A lot of headaches that go into it.
Nurses usually switch around.
Right.
And that already became the normal.
Right.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
There is no such any other things available out there that I need to switch my day. Oh, I have a weekend. I'm working the weekend. I have a baptism happening the weekend. I need to switch with somebody.
Right.
That's automatically yes. But I want to put like this. If you are on the other side of entrepreneurship, if you have a baptism on Saturday, you don't need to switch around. You just need to look at your schedule. What you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You switch around.
Yeah.
So that is actually, it's a small thing. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but
You're not asking for permission. That's the main
correct.
thing.
So the mindset what we get, like you open to do what you want to do or
Yeah.
decide what you want to do, that opportunity is it's really huge. And I'll give you an idea. Like my kids were like just started school, so I was home with them. Like I was working, I was home. I was rescheduling. I was reshuffling my schedule.
Yeah.
Maybe I will meet my client like evening, or maybe Zoom. I can change to Zoom meeting.
Right.
So which is possible, but when this come, I don't want to put this like a controversy or something. Like I'm not degrading anything. Like a job is great. Like you will get the security, regular paycheck, everything is great. But I want to put like there's another side too. So what I'll do? Take a look. There's another side, right?
Yeah.
I think time is going up right now. Like our first episode, we were talking serious. We're supposed to be like introducing and wrapping up, but it's going a lot of things like we touch base here and there.
Yeah, and I think this is why we want to have this conversation.
Exactly.
I think this is why we started wanting to do this, because we felt like nobody talks about this, and we wanted to kind of like.
I don't hear anybody talking about this.
Yeah, we wanted to encourage folks to maybe look at other opportunities.
Right. So there are motivational speakers. I see a lot in all social media. This is not the line. Like motivation, I think it will last maybe 2 days, maybe a week maximum. Yeah. So that's all. But there are like great motivational speakers.
It's a good starter catalyst.
Right. Yeah. It is. But don't rely on that for long.
You can't.
So I don't think it's going to help. So I don't really believe on those things. But my belief is actually seek the clarity. So find out what outside available. So I'm looking forward for that. So I got an opportunity. I'm exploring. I'm enjoying. I'm growth is there. So the same opportunity. I don't want to give the same opportunity to everybody, but I'm giving out like take a look. Same opportunity. There's no objection.
Right.
Anybody can explore anything.
Right.
So, but there's something else available outside too.
Right.
Take a look. So we will be wrapping up today, and thank you so much, Nikhil, for joining me. We'll be continuing, and
hopefully we change people's lives.
Yeah, exactly, right. So the joy will be there when that happens. So we thoroughly enjoy what we do, and would like to share what's the other
perspective,
right? So take a look, and we'll talk. We'll keep talking. Yep. All right. Peace out.